G'day. Thanks for dropping in to check out the video today. Today I wanted to jump in, do a follow-up to my Amonkhet mechanics review and have a bit of a chat about the commons in the set, particularly what I pick as the best couple of commons for each colour. I think the cards that I'm going to be looking at as I sit down at the draft table and get past after we've gone through the rares and the awesome uncommons, the cards that are going to pull me towards colours, the cards that I'm hoping to pick up to flesh out my decks and go from there. So I've got basically my favourite common of each colour, plus a backup just in case I'm totally wrong. In saying that, as with everything I do, say or think, I'm more than happy to be told that I'm wrong. These are my thoughts as a average limited player who loves the game and wants to just share his thoughts. Obviously, keeping in mind this is going to be 100% common, so we're not talking about super undercosted game-breaking abilities. These are cards which are the bread and butter of our draft decks and basically going to fill the board and help you win. So to jump straight in, if we're going to look at white, my favourite common in white is the Unwavering Initiate. A 3/2 for 3 mana with Vigilance is not above cost, not below cost. It's exactly what you want to pay, again, at common level for a 3/2 with Vigilance. And the Embalm ability, although a little bit expensive, it means that you, as I've said pretty much every time I've talked about Amonkhet, I love the Embalm ability because it just means that later in the game, if you've emptied your hand or you don't want to cast your big spells quite yet for whatever reason, you can still spend your mana, affect the board, get a token into play. It's still going to have some effect on the battlefield. Just a fine card, nothing fancy, but my pick for the best white common. To back that one up, bit iffy on this one, but I'm picking the Sparring Mummy. I could just imagine a lot of games where we go turn 3, we attack with our turn 4 we attack with our 3-drop, get some damage in, we play this guy, we untap it, we have a defensive board ready to go. It's a hill giant, a 3/3 for 4, which is again, it's not what you want to pay, but at common level it's acceptable. And moving to blue. Blue was probably the iffiest colour for me. I didn't see any creatures that really stood out, and creatures tend to be where your main go-to when you're looking at limited. So what I picked as the best blue common was the Cartouche of Knowledge. Now with this one, it had, as with all the cartouches, it is an aura, so it does have that. It can get countered and be by creature destruction, but the fact that it comes down for 2 mana, it gives the creature +1 and flying, and it also replaces itself by the fact that it draws a card when it enters the battlefield. If it lands, it's going to be great on pretty much any creature. Evasion plus extra power plus drawing a card. It's pretty awesome. You just need to play it sensibly. Obviously, don't walk into creature destruction mana, and if you know your creatures are playing it. My backup for blue, and this is probably the one that I'm most wrong about, but we'll wait and see, is Floodwaters. So Floodwaters is a 6 mana, they're a sorcery that turns up to 2 target creatures to their owner's hand, which tends to be a decent effect if the games go long. Obviously, you tend to find in a normal limited environment, you're going to be attacking and trading damage back and forth, and basically you want to get to that point where you have the 6 mana available, you take out their last couple of blockers and get your last couple of points of damage. And it does have cycling, so that you're going to be able to, if you don't get to that long game, so if you're playing against someone who's beating you fast, you just need to get this out of your hand, you pay your 2 mana, you pay your 2 mana, you cycle it, you get to draw a card, and it's not going to just die in your hand like a lot of these kind of spells would. Again, probably most wrong about that one, but that's what I pick. Moving into black, now obviously being black, my favourite card, my pick of the commons is going to be a removal spell. 5 mana is pretty pricey, but exiling the creature at instant speed is awesome. I mean, we've played 5 mana at instant speed to destroy creatures, usually with an extra effect on it, but exiling in a world of Embalm, in a world of bunch of graveyard shenanigans is pretty nice. Means you're getting rid of the creature, it's never coming back. Obviously helps if you get unfortunate enough that your opponent's opened a mythic or a god, which are indestructible. You can exile it, and yeah, it's pretty cool. My backup for black, this one's probably again a bit iffy, but this kind of card is usually the card I like to go for. a 3 mana 2/2 with Death Touch, meaning that it's going to be able to kill whatever it blocks, so you can play it later than you'll normally play a 3-drop without being too upset. Cycling's a nice little extra effect. Obviously, if you're in a 2-colour deck, you get screwed on colour, you can always throw it away and hope to draw a replacement card. Red. I'm a red mage primarily, and red was very tricky for me to pick my favourite cards. I don't know if it's because they're all high quality or if they're all low quality. But again, this one I could probably I'd be wrong on this more likely than not. But my favourite card is Electrify. 4 damage at instant speed to deal 4 damage to a creature. Obviously, if it dealt creature or player, it'd be better. It'd probably be much better than being a common. But at the moment, we play Chandra's Revolution, which is for 4 mana to deal 4 damage and tap a land, and to be honest, the tap a land very rarely matters, and that is a sorcery speed spell as well, so 4 mana and instant speed to be able to pretty much kill most creatures that matter, is fine. Well, definitely my pick for the red commons. The second red card, again, had a bit of trouble finding one here, but this guy, the 2/3 Minotaur, the Minotaur Sure Shot, which is a 2/3 for 3 with reach, meaning it's going to help you out in the blocking in the sky, which red tends to have trouble with. You don't see many red flyers or red reach creatures at low cost. Obviously your dragons and phoenixes are the main ones you see, but it's not overly common. And the fact that it has that little fire breathing ability, which means that you might be able to take in a couple of points of extra damage here and there to win any race. So it works defensively, works aggressively, and I think it's just a decent creature on curve with some extra coolness. Finally, looking at green, because there's no multicoloured commons, as far as I'm aware, my pick of the cards for green, again looking at this cycle, is the Cartouche. As we said with the blue one, it has the potential downside of the fact that it is an aura. It can get killed by bounce spells, it can be disrupted by bounce spells, by kill spells, by taking your creature out. But this one's pretty nice. Your creature's getting +1/+1 and trample, and it comes into play with a fight. So it's hunt the weak for 1 mana less with an aura, and the fact that you stick around with the +1/+1 forever and the trample. I like it. I think this is going to see a lot of play, because obviously green decks tend to be very stompy creature decks, and this set seems to be no different. And just being able to pay your 3 mana, make your creature a bit nicer, give it trample, and take out one of their relevant creatures, seems good to me. I set my backup for this one. This one's probably not going to be in most people's top couple of commons, but I really like the Quarry Hauler. It's not the same kind of level as the snake is in the current set, or even the 3-drop, the Morphous Revolutionary, which it's reminiscent of, but in a world where you're trying to get, so obviously again looking at green being a creature based colour where you want to have your creatures as big as possible, and a world where -1/-1 counters are floating around in multiple colours, being able to play a 4/3 body for 4, which is, I'd call it on curve for commons, and potentially either make on your creatures a little bit bigger, or remove a -1/-1 counter. Gives you the option, gives you a bit of flexibility, a bit of freedom there, and just seems fine to me. So that's my top 10, not necessarily my top 10 commons, but my top 2 for each colour. Like I said, these are the cards that when I start drafting it next week after next when it comes online, it's the 25th my time, 24th American is when it comes to Magic Online. I'm going to be drafting the heck out of it over at twitch.tv/MP Numbers. These cards that I'm going to be looking at them for signals. I'm going to be probably taking them early, trying to use them to force my way into colours, and possibly not doing so well. Let me know what you think. Obviously, all comments, any feedback. So happy to be told that you disagree with my thoughts. Obviously, any kind of evidence. I don't just want to see comments saying you're wrong, you suck. Let me know what you think, what commons you are interested in. And after this, I'll look at doing an uncommon video in the next couple of days as well, just to look at the uncommons, and then rares we can look at. Obviously, limited players, we can't base our world around rares because we only see a couple of them, and the chance of you playing with all the good rares is pretty low unless you're drafting quite a lot or have some people around you that aren't very good. But again, thanks for watching. That's the commons that I like for Amonkhet drafting at this point. I'll do an updated video once we've had a chance to actually draft it. Again, please share your thoughts, contact me, let me know what you think, and have a great night.